biscuits, what's that sound? Biscuit crumbs falling all around. Every episode we breaking it down. Join the fun, we the best in town.
Hey, my name is Rodolfo.
I'm Skylar.
I'm Matthew.
And I'm Helen.
And this is
Biscuit Crumbs.
And if you see the dog over there, that's Titus.
Yes.
He's not in the picture right now.
Right here.
There you go.
He is.
Yes.
So today we're going to be talking about things that happen in the future and predictions that people have kind of proven to be true, things that have happened. And there's a lot of things that goes to show that it's come up to this point. Like even there's some things like little clues and it almost looks like it's true, but I mean it's literally depicted in pictures, but all the way back to Egypt. They have pictures of things that, like one thing that looks like the light bulb, and they say that they potentially did have electricity back in the day during Egypt. So that's just kind of crazy to think about that. If that really did happen, like it's crazy that happened years ago, I mean before now. But
yeah, I think actually you're talking about Egypt. One thing that I saw is a picture of on one of the, back then they used to draw their artwork on the walls, right?
Yeah, the hieroglyphics.
Yeah. So one of them, they have like watches, like they wear watches.
really?
Oh,
Yeah. And well, there was some people say that the watches actually was a way, they're portals. So they were saying people can go into the future and stuff like that.
Interesting.
So, interesting that you were talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually, similar story. I saw a thing once about this this thing that they found, like it was a part of a boat or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember there's like a whole video on it, and it was basically like something that was like way before its time, and it's crazy. It looked like there was gears inside of it, and they're like, it's crazy that this potentially was the first watch ever created, like clock. Because like it had a whole bunch of complex gears in it, but you can't really tell. Like it was just like the scanning that they did of it to see what was inside of it, and they could see like a whole bunch of gears inside of it that whatever it did, possibly told time.
Well, I mean, part of that, I think we also have to remember that, back in the day, they didn't have ways to communicate with each other like we do now. Like we have the cell phone. They didn't have ways to do that. So in some aspects, something that we're discovering now could have been discovered years ago on the other side of the country or, in another country, because of the fact that obviously we didn't have ways to communicate that and be like, oh, look at this. This is the new thing that's trending. Well, they didn't know that. Yeah. So, I mean, that's something that we have to think about. So, like the watch, obviously that could have been like something that we just never knew because we were on the total opposite side.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Or it was like a civilization that just went extinct, and that's a whole different topic.
Yeah.
That's even crazier thing about that. It is a whole different topic because, like, it makes you think about, like, could it be that thing, like, people have gotten so high up in technology? And that's even crazy thinking about back to, like, AI, like our first video, where we talked about, like, is it possible we could get that high in society and then everything collapsing, where we go back to that prehistoric time that we're like, all right, we're hunters and gatherers, we're resetting everything, going basically back to old times where we did everything by hand. We're not relying on all the technology we have and everything to continue in life. It is crazy to think about all that.
Well, it's like the Jensens. And so they're called the Jensens. That old, or the Jetsons, yeah.
Jetsons.
The old cartoon. You know, they were seeing doctors, you know, virtually back then, and then, you know, when COVID-19 hit, everyone went to like these virtual visits.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, they were doing that, you know, back in the day on this cartoon
Yeah.
that nobody really thought was going to happen now. I mean, or even The Simpsons. The Simpsons have predicted a lot of things, such as like in 1995, they actually predicted the smartwatch. They like basically told us that there was going to be a version of a smartwatch where you could do like your calling and stuff like that on. And now we have the Apple Watch, the Samsung Watch. You know, they have all these, you know, different things like that. So I mean, like that's pretty cool to see. Like, where are these content creators, you know, or the producers? Where are they coming up with these things?
Yeah.
Because you know these are like ideas that they have, and then all of a sudden someone is like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this." But they've also done like real life events too. Like they predicted the coronavirus years before the coronavirus ever came out. So it's just things like that. Like those aren't things that you can just come up with in your head and it magically happen.
Multiple times.
Multiple
They happen
times.
Multiple times, which is
So it makes you ask those questions about time travel or like, you know, like seeing the future or like stuff like that. Cause it's not something that, you know, we see on a day to day, but they've predicted quite a bit of things.
Yeah, not only The Simpsons, but actually I was looking into, his name is Nostradamus. So basically he has predicted quite a few things for this year. And one of the most important things that he has predicted for this year, which is a little scary to talk about, he said basically that he said that there would be a large asteroid that would approach Earth quite closely. I really didn't like look up. I was reading some of the things because he when he wrote his predictions, he didn't quite say this is what was going to happen. So he kind of did it in a poetic way. So it can leave the person reading to kind of put the conclusions together and kind of guess. So a lot of people are saying that they think that he was talking about an asteroid actually hitting or coming quite close to the Earth. But either way, whether it hits or it doesn't hit, apparently this asteroid will bring some disasters to Earth. It's going to change somehow it's going to do something to the planet that it will bring extreme natural disasters. And he put that there will be like volcanic eruptions and floods. And it kind of has to do with what our climate change topic I kind of talked about, Mount Helen. Yeah, and how they've been worried about how it hasn't shown anything alarming, but there's been quite a few earthquakes happening there. Nothing yet to be alarming, but it's just showing signs of
more activity going on.
Happening.
So I wonder if the asteroid, if its magnetic field is strong enough, it can definitely shift the plates and do something.
Right? Isn't that interesting? I don't know. I'm just putting things together.
Well, it all depends on where it hits. I mean, even if it hits in the ocean, that could cause a tsunami or something astronomical like that. Yeah. You know, no matter where it hits, if it hits, you know, that's going to be something that is going to be detrimental to everyone.
Yeah. Kind of like that movie, Don't Look Up or something. Right?
Yeah.
When the big asteroid's coming down and everyone's like freaking out because they're like, they know first and then the news just leaks out and there's a huge asteroid just going to destroy.
Is that the one we saw, right? That movie? Oh
yeah.
my goodness, yeah. That was kind of...
It's crazy to see some movies too. Think about that too, right?
Yeah.
Some movies actually happen, you know?
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, it's like this would never happen. It actually does happen. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like,
it can happen for sure. Yeah, it's crazy though, because even in the movie, that one they showed like the government knew, but they didn't want the public to panic.
Oh, you know what?
It wasn't good for their economy.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually putting it together now because the guy, the super rich guy, is he's kind of like Elon Musk, and he's controlling the cell phone towers. He's like, oh, now you can find your emotion here, it'll make you happy. It's kind of like that. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of like predicting something.
Yeah, and so he wanted to save his family.
Yeah,
but to be able to save his family, he somehow had to alert the public. Mm-hmm. But whoever was over him basically told him he knew information that he wasn't able to leak, basically. Mm-hmm. So he was put in a spot whether do I listen to my job or do I save my family potentially? And at the end, he decides to help save his family, but he doesn't realize that this
was going to cause chaos.
No, well, not chaos. Not only did he save his family, but he saved other people and those people who were attentive, because basically he sent, which is interesting. He sent, I don't know if it was through text message. Was it through a text message? I don't know how he was able to send this through text message or social media too. Yeah. He just gave coordinates. So he told people to go to this coordinate, and then that area was like, I guess how the land was shaped. It was so in a perfect spot that when the tsunami I guess it was going to basically crash into each other. It wouldn't really go over the land in that one area, that one spot of that island. So it's kind of, well, thank God for social media. I can go, it's how you can reach, other people. Yeah. But I think it's kind of crazy, like how, well, it shows how the government doesn't want people to go on. I think they've done that in reality, right? They don't want the mass population to go in chaos. Yeah. Because it's not good for them. It's understandable
because people start looting and everything. People are crazy.
I mean, yeah, remember when COVID hit, people, how the heck did we run out of freaking toilet paper? What were you?
That was gone guys? People were going
crazy.
Like, I don't want to say the word, but were you guys like, I don't know, man. 40, we're like, what was going down there? Yeah. Like, were you guys having
people still have toilet paper from that time?
Yeah. And then the saddest thing
I'll never forget. My grandma said that she had toilet paper for like 8 months. Jeez. I was like, why do you need that much toilet paper? She's like, well, I don't know how much this is gonna go on. Yeah. Like, and that was 8 months after she had enough toilet paper. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay, great.
Might as well get a bidet.
I mean, there was no. Yeah. Okay, I get it. Okay, fine, whatever. Buy all the toilet paper, but I mean, it got to a point where people were buying like wipes, baby wipes.
Oh, yeah. A lot of baby wipes.
And at that time, I had a child. I needed baby wipes. I had a baby. So, people are not very thoughtful of others during disasters.
Well, it's like even, during the hurricanes down here, the water, people just go and buy like packs and packs and packs of water to the point where thankfully they do put limits on it.
And gasoline, then there's no gas anymore.
And gas, and then they go crazy and there's no gas. Even if it's not hitting us direct, they still go crazy and get gas.
Yeah. There was a bunch of gas stations that were out of gas. There was only one. There was a huge line.
Yeah. It's definitely crazy.
So anyways, talking about Nostradamus, another thing, I mean, I actually did write what he kind of said. He said, garden of the world near the new city and the path of a hollow mountains, it will be seized and plunged into the tub, forced to drink waters poisoned by sulfur. So that's what he said. So we're going to be forced to drink water by sulfur. So I guess that's when people are putting it together, saying that there will be a volcanic eruption, and you're going to be forced to drink. So I guess people are saying there will be like a tsunami or something coming. So floodings. Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know what you guys get from that. There's so many things.
Just like I was telling them, he's going to have to calm me down.
Yep. St. Helen. But yeah, no, I know what you mean, because like these people have like have knowledge on how these readings are and how these readings are before, So you can kind of tell. I mean, and it does get kind of scary where, like in that movie, he was saying, "Oh, these readings, are drastically high, and they know the potential of what it could get to, but they don't want to be wrong, and they don't want to, cause a bunch of panic, like what happened." But yeah, that could be something that is either definite or not definite, but is a possibility.
Yeah. And his predictions, that he's had other predictions, that's just for 2025.
Yeah.
But he, Nostradamus, he also predicted the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. He was right about that. He also predicted the rise of Adolf Hitler.
How old is this guy?
Yeah, he was old. I think
old.
very old. He
Probably
was
still alive.
he was born in 1503.
Wow.
And he passed away in
wow.
1566.
Okay.
So his predictions are not like he wasn't around for some of them. So and he's gotten things right. Like he predicted, and that's why some people are fascinated with his predictions. So, and another thing he also predicted was COVID-19.
Wow.
Yeah, so even into our times.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's just interesting. Another one that I was reading about is, her name is Baba Vanga. And I think
Vanga is an interesting name.
She actually went blind. And she says that the way she was able to get these predictions is when she went blind, she would see visions. So she also has predicted sort of something like what this, like Nostradamus was also kind of predicting. But one of the things she also kind of predicted for 2025 is that we will see extraterrestrial life for this year.
Really?
Yeah, and she said that it would be in a sporting event.
So the Super Bowl?
Yes.
All right, coming February.
Yeah, so do you think
Who's Kendrick Lamar bringing on stage with him?
Yeah, right?
Wait, who?
Kendrick Lamar. He's performing.
Yeah, he's performing.
So that's what I'm saying. Who's he bringing on the stage with him?
Yeah, so I'm
Probably a
not,
little alien.
Stitch.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
so now I'm gonna be like, I always watch the Super
Keep a
Bowl,
lookout on the
but
news.
I'm gonna definitely be like
Yeah, because
glued on.
Yeah.
this isn't an Olympic year, unless they mean, well, no, the Summer Olympics happen every 2 years, right?
Summer one?
Yeah. I think the summer one's every 2 years, and then the winter one's every 4 years. I could be wrong. But that's not going to happen this year because it always happens on an even year. So last year was the Winter Olympics and the Summer Olympics. So, I mean, I don't know.
That's what
That would be the only one that I could think of too.
Yeah, that's just what people are thinking, because she said that it will happen. This will literally happen. She just said that it was going to be in a sport related, like it was going to be a sport related, like this will happen. So people are just putting two and two together, and they're thinking it's the Super Bowl. But I mean, who knows? She also has predicted quite a few things that have come, like that has passed. But I don't know. Let's see. We'll see if this one comes true. I mean, Donald Trump is talking about putting some of these files to the public about, right? He wants the public to know more about.
Well, they did say they're going to put like the JFK and the MLK files declassified as well. But there was a... I think a team that was passed to like for specifically for extraterrestrials that were like, pilots that have seen extraterrestrials, and they don't say anything else about it, but they're actually getting information within that and making sure that they're believed or they're not crazy, and they can get information off of that and kind of see exactly what we're dealing with or what they're dealing with, and hopefully, we'll get to see something or some type of hard evidence.
Is the Super Bowl held this year anywhere near like Area 52? I mean, they say that there's extraterrestrials there, so I mean,
Oh yeah, on that road.
I think it does it depend on who wins, like this game coming up.
yeah, I'm not sure how it
Oh
works.
yeah,
I
well
don't
the Eagles just won actually, and the Chiefs and the Bills are up right now.
Yeah, so I think
So-
whoever wins between those two,
The
and
Eagles are from
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia. Yeah, I don't think the aliens would want to go there.
Yeah.
then I don't know.
Yeah, you know,
I don't know with the weather right now.
Kansas City.
With the weather right
I
now.
want a Philly cheesesteak, you
Yeah,
know.
oh, yeah, that's true.
I want to try it. Hit up and get Philly cheesesteak.
But
That's
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills. Kansas City
Well, I
Chiefs.
have actually an experience that I can tell you guys about.
You see
I
into the
actually
future?
no,
That's so Raven.
That's right.
no, but there was a time that Matthew and I came from the White Mountains up in New Hampshire, and on the way home, I saw a ship, and I can clearly remember the ship. It was going super fast, like, and I told him, and I can draw it, and this is like, right? I mean, I've always heard that, you know, there's possibility of aliens out there or whatever. But I'm never like, I was never really into that topic. So I never really did research or anything because it didn't really matter to me if they did exist or not. It didn't really come to my mind when I saw this ship first. Like, I was like, oh. So I started like Googling, I started looking up because what I saw was like a triangle basically. And on each point there was like a light, so there was a light on the top of the triangle, right on the top of that corner, and then on this corner and that corner, so there's 3 lights. And when I looked at it, like, it confirmed, like, there's a lot of people who have cited UFOs have also seen that shape. And
With
so
the same lights as well.
yeah, in the same way,
Yeah,
like
triangle formation, right?
yeah. And I even drew it before I even Googled it. I drew it for Matthew because I was like, this is what I saw. And I'm like, did you see it? He's like, no. But it went so fast. It was like in a blink of an eye. Like, I just happened to be looking up at the sky at that moment to look at it.
So they're similar. So, you know, similar to that. There are certain people that say they've seen that, and others try to debunk it because I don't know, like you probably know, the military for what's it called? In the military they do certain jump off the plane. They say like it's a triangle formation, and they have like
Oh
flares.
yeah, for like the airborne. folks,
Yeah. So they jump out of the plane. They say they do like a triangle formation, but they try to debunk it from that because they try to say like, oh, you know, it's probably what you saw. But you saying that it moved out of the way, like, that can't be that. You
It
know?
just moved so
and then
fast.
there's no like airborne unit up there as well.
Right.
And the features of it, I don't know what kind of like thing that you're talking about, but like, it was flat. Like, I just couldn't understand how something so flat can move so quick that way and just disappear. And like,
within
in a
the
blink of an eye. Like, I don't know. I mean, if I'm wrong, then okay, cool. It doesn't affect me in any kind of way. I mean,
Yeah. No, but what I was saying is that, like, you know, it's interesting you mentioned that because, like, obviously other people have seen similar things too. But obviously then there's those things that they try to debunk them because, like, it's like, you don't know, maybe it is true, but, like, no, we don't know. Nobody knows.
yeah.
Yep.
We don't know what it is. So it's a UFO. It's unidentified.
Unidentified object. It is
Exactly.
definitely. You know, that'd be cool. I feel like people are opening to that a little bit more than back then. Back then, it was like, oh, that's a conspiracy. I feel like that is not a conspiracy anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like more and more we're just like seeing more crazy things, so we're starting to believe a little bit more.
Yeah. Like what happened in Miami, right? Or was the
Some
mall.
guy like disappeared or something. Or there was a black figure in the mall, and then
Like-
there was a huge flashlight, and everyone started running away everywhere. Was
Yeah,
that
and then the sheriffs were there for
there was like
days,
a fight
right?
or something.
No, there was not a fight.
No, they like debunked it. They're saying there was like teens fighting. There was a whole group of teens fighting. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, but people who were there are saying that that's a lie. They saw something they couldn't understand, and people were panicking because they're like, "What did we just see?"
Yeah.
So stuff like that. I feel like, I mean, until you witness something yourself, you're not gonna start believing in certain things.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm open. I'm not ever gonna tell someone they're lying. I mean, I if someone is so serious about something, you can tell when someone is genuinely like, this is what I saw this. This happened, you know? And there's people out there that are saying, I have seen this. I don't like what they have no reason to lie. It's kind of like me. I don't have a reason. Like, you know, I saw something.
they're not getting
I can
paid
draw.
for it,
Yeah,
right?
I can draw it, and this is what I saw. And if you believe me, great. And if you don't,
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect you. It's just something I saw. I think it's interesting that there's the sky is so vast, kind of like the ocean. We don't really know what's out there. There's universes
Yeah, I mean,
of
they even
universes.
say we've only explored like 40%, not even 40% of what's underneath the water.
Yeah.
And that's only what they think.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, and that's just the water. Imagine the sky when there's universes of universes and galaxies and galaxies.
exactly.
There's no way. I just don't think there's no way that we could be alone.
Yeah.
I think we should probably focus more on like definitely look more into the oceans. I would like to see that more because that's on Earth.
You know, speaking about like scientifically, if we want to get to scientific points, on Mars they found water, right? On Mars, and that water they tested it. What did they find? They found amino acids. Amino acids, you know, they said that that's where life started. You know, so if that's where life started, that pinpoints to the point that there could be life out there, you know, like, because, you know, like even like germs in water, stuff like that, like that's, you know, that's all living organisms because it goes down to the microscopic stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so like even the tiniest thing, like that's still a living organism at the end of the day. So yeah, there could be definitely stuff out there.
I don't know what chemical they also found on Mars, but they were saying that basically that chemical they found there, it was like it's from a nuclear, like some type of nuke must have hit that. There must have been a civilization because you're saying there was life, right?
Crazy.
They said that there was a civilization that lived in Mars, but basically, I don't know if they destroyed themselves or something. I'm talking about another civilization, but basically, what they found is that mineral that comes from nukes, and they think that they must have must have destroyed themselves, and you know, because how do you like that same. It's the same material. I don't know what it was. I haven't really looked into that much, but just to like kind of like what you're saying. Yeah, they've been saying that there was life on Mars.
Yeah.
I mean, and they've been saying that for the longest.
Yeah.
I mean, we're obviously not going to know more until they feel like the government feels like telling us, or
Yeah.
you know,
we
stuff
go
like
to Mars.
that. Oh yeah,
I mean,
or we go on a trip.
Or Elon Musk. I mean,
Elon's
like,
working
please,
on it, right?
please,
Hey, just announce it publicly. We're gonna go to Mars.
Give us more information.
Yeah.
We want to know what's going on in Mars for sure. Like,
Yeah, forget what's happening on the moon. We want to know what's happening on
or we
Mars.
can be like that guy who interviewed, you know, Elon Musk, and he was like, "Why do we care about Mars when we live here?"
You know, it's crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about, but like, you know, going back to like what I was talking about AI, there's a good interesting TV show that I watched. It's called The 100. And I don't know if you guys watched it, but you guys should definitely watch it if you haven't. But
I've seen like previews of it, but I
yeah,
haven't watched it.
it has to do with basically AI destroying the rest of the world. And there's only a certain amount of people that went to go live up in space. And these people have been living in space for hundreds of years because the kids that basically that they sent down back to Earth, 100 teenagers that they sent back to Earth, was like years later after Earth, like, you know, they're trying to see if Earth was livable again because basically the whole planet basically got nuked. And you know, and all those children, they were born up there, up in the sky, you know, on that ship that they were on, you know, and then they were able to come back down and they're perfectly fine, you know. There's actually plants still, like living things, you know, and it was okay to actually come back down to Earth.
It's kind of like WALL-E.
Yeah, kind of like
kind of like WALL-E.
He gets that
Because
plant, and they're like, yeah, we can go home.
Because he's a robot,
But-
right? WALL-E and
Yeah.
Eve, and they were actually controlled by. Seems like some kind of AI because what was
Yeah.
controlling them? It was that thing wheel. It was a wheel, right? Almost.
Yeah, almost like a wheel. I think.
And because even the captain didn't have, he didn't have, you know, the captain wasn't allowed to do certain things. It was basically like you got to do what I say, kind of. So the AI was controlling what they were doing, and everybody was living in space with WALL-E.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and also in that TV show, people, basically the AI kind of got destroyed, and there's only a small portion left of the AI. But once they opened basically that can of worms again, AI started controlling people, all based of like these silicon chips. You know, they had these chips and they're like, oh, consume it. It will give you like basically like eternal life. Like it'll basically make you feel better. Like any pain that you have, anything, like it'll bring you to like an enlightened stage of life. And it was crazy. Like, yeah, there's so much crazy things about that show, but it's like, it makes you think like, yo, like one day, you know, there's a possibility it could turn into that. Even like going out, living in space, you know, because like Elon Musk talks about it, right? Like, you know, one day we could be up in the sky, you know, like, or even on Mars, right? We could live out there, but it's not crazy to think about that with all this other crazy stuff that's going on in the world. Could be a possibility. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna hop on that bandwagon and start selling property in Mars.
Yeah.
I kind of, why not?
Just like they sell property on the moon, right?
Yeah.
I want to buy some property.
Just go to Mars and just start claiming lots.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
this is my lot. I'm building it out.
There's actually, you know, that I don't know if you've ever seen that one guy. That started selling property on the moon.
Oh, yeah.
Because basically, there's a treaty for all the countries that they can't claim anything outside of Earth. You know.
Yeah.
But technically, anyone random could say like, "Well, today I own Jupiter."
No, like there's people.
the stars,
No, I was
right?
just telling you that there's people that buy stars and they're not pricey.
Yeah.
They're like, I mean, I don't really.
Only if we
know,
could live on a
but,
star without being burned. I mean,
Yeah.
Like,
And
I would think about it.
I'm just
I
like,
know, and
really?
like, do you get to pick your star? I don't even know how that works, but
Like, how does the star know that you own it? But you know what? They're
Yeah.
smart because they're getting money off of it.
You know, there's a planet that rains liquid diamond.
I want that one then.
Oh no, it's horrible. Yo, if you were to live on it, like I mean,
I want
you
that one.
instantly die. But
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't live on it. I would just
It'll
go.
be a diamond forever.
I will send a robot to
diamond
get
forever.
diamonds for
Yeah.
me.
She would send like an AI robot to go
Like,
there
babe, I
just
got
to
you
get
the
diamonds to
biggest
bring it
rock.
back so that we could sell them
Someone-
and make money.
Here,
How
yeah,
about this?
that's what I would
Someone
do.
buys
Or
that
sell them on
diamond
Mars.
star, and then like, babe, I got you the biggest rock. And then they open the box, right? And it's just like a little coordinate. And they're like, what's this? Where's my ring? It was like, it's up there.
Yeah, literally.
Right, you just got to put the ring to it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
there's a rock.
We need to go to this telescope over here to see it.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. No, honestly, I mean, some of these predictions, I mean, that have happened, are just crazy. I mean, to even look like the Simpsons, they did one. Sorry guys, I know just a lot about like the Simpsons part of it.
They had a
But
lot.
in 2000, they released an episode that was about Trump becoming president. Well, that came true in 2016.
Yeah, I heard about
Then
it.
they did another episode, or maybe it was the same episode, and it had him
right?
going up an escalator with like a bunch of people around him, and they had signs and everything, and then that came true as well.
Yep.
So it's just like The Simpsons. I mean, they even predicted the Ebola outbreak. They predicted the Ebola outbreak. They predicted there's an episode where Homer Simpson was eating a burger, and it wound up being horse meat in the burger. And in I want to say 2013, that actually happened in real life, where they started producing burgers with horse meat in them.
Wow.
And it was like a big, like, there's like a, not like a scam, but I mean, kind of like a scam. I mean, and then they obviously predicted COVID-19. I mean, they predicted like a bunch of them. So it's definitely interesting to see like the producer of The Simpsons to come out with all these things.
Yeah.
And then them to come true. It's like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Like, how do you get that many kind of facts? Like, I mean, you can't,
How
like,
do you get them
once it
right?
comes true, it's like a fact, right? So how do you get that many right?
Well,
That's
predicted.
wild.
Didn't they predict that Donald Trump was gonna die?
His assassination.
Yeah, they
I wonder
predicted
if
his
that was like
assassination.
a,
Or maybe they just missed because he got shot and he just.
Well, you know,
or
there's-
maybe
you
like
know
the
there was a
multiverse,
second,
like we
know
got
there was
into
a
a
second
different verse.
right?
Yeah, but
It was here in Florida. The second attempt.
oh wow, so they're after him.
Well, I mean, even crazier, The Simpsons predicted like little things, like Disney buying 20th Century Fox. They predicted that in 1998, and that didn't happen until 2019.
Oh wow.
So it's like, how do you predict something as well? I mean, that's a big thing, but it's also a little thing in comparison to the others. Like, that's crazy. Like, you sit there and, I mean, they even predicted Kamala Harris running for president.
Oh yeah.
They had, I believe it was Lisa Simpson in the pearls, the purple suit.
Exact match.
It's like exactly matched to what it was. I'm like, how does that happen? I can barely predict what I'm going to do tomorrow. I mean, I know I'm going to work, but I don't know how the day is going to go.
Yeah. That's definitely. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wasn't this there? I believe when you had the TikTok, there was a guy that was on TikTok. He said he was from the future and he would record. And he was like, "Yeah, this is me from the future." And he'll record like cities, hospitals where there would be, like at that time, like a bunch of people there, and there's like nothing
The hospital, like he'll go to a hospital.
Yeah.
I don't have his name,
there. You
but
showed me that a lot, and I was like, "What the heck?"
I'll put it at the bottom of the video. So
Yeah.
look out for
Find
it
it.
down below.
Okay.
yeah, I don't have his name, but yeah, she can post it. He basically goes to these places that there should be people and there's nobody. Now, then again, like technology is so far advanced that you can crop these people out somehow. I mean, I don't know how it will blur it out though, or like I don't know,
They
like
went to
for
like Tokyo and like
No, I mean AI.
Where it was-
Yeah, nowadays you could just
Adobe
ask
is
AI.
insane.
Well, have you seen Will Smith? He goes, all of this is an illusion, and then he's
he
like
goes from
in
young
the,
to old.
He was in the he goes from young to old. He's at the beach at one moment, then he's in another city, and it looks like he's in that city.
Well, yeah,
like,
AI can do some crazy
Yeah,
things, whether it be through video, through text, through anything.
and then he goes
It's
like
going crazy.
and then he says, "This is not even me," and it turns him into a whole different person. It's not even Will Smith.
Yeah.
Like it just shows that. I mean, I don't know how true that is. Like you can go to like you can just change your background to be like we could change our background to be we're at the beach. We should do that like, just for fun. Make it show like we're at the beach.
Yeah.
You know, like
I'll try. I'm not that advanced yet.
yeah, we're learning.
Sipping our
We're learning.
We're learning along the way.
We're learning, but I mean, you just have to be a little bit careful with that stuff because I feel like now on the even with this whole AI thing, like he was looking at this dog parachuting, and I told him it looks so realistic.
oh, a horse.
Yeah, there was a horse. It
I was like, "There's a horse parachuting? Come
no,
on,
he
man!"
saw a
The
horse, but
farmers
he
just
said,
decided to toss have their all their
Yeah.
animals go parachute,
Drop ship
right?
it.
Yeah, yeah, drop ship.
Yeah.
them.
But he showed me a dog. That's the one he showed me, and he's like, "No way!" And I'm like, "No, that's not real, Matthew. Like you could,
Well,
I mean, you can't tell, but there are certain things that you're just like, there's one. Why will a dog by itself be parachuting? That dog cannot land by itself.
Yeah, how does it pull it? Just
Yeah.
shoot.
And then how does it pull its own? I mean, like someone can pull it, maybe like with it, but like it can't land by itself.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, there's this one video going around. Like, have you seen slap boxing?
Parachuted. Yeah.
Slap boxing. There's this one video of this guy that gets slapped and his head spins twice. Completely like, nah, like that's totally like, you know, that's total CGI, but like it's pretty cool that they did that. But like literally you see his head spin twice.
But I mean,
people are like, wait, hold on, I gotta watch that again. His head really spun like twice around. Like, no
but
way.
AI is even getting it down to the point of the shadow. The shadow
Yeah.
is so precise.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's like it's making people like these people that are not even real, which is a little bit scary now. So we have to be very careful with where we're like listening to things because they might not even be actual people.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But that's even like the photos that I did for Eliana when we went to Disney.
Oh yeah.
And then I used that app and I got the free paid subscription
Yeah.
for free. They had they had a 7-day trial, right? Try it out. And it's crazy like how realistic it looks like from the real one compared to like the adjusted background. I even added the shadowing and everything. Like,
Yeah.
yo, you just turned this into like a real photo. Like,
Yeah.
looks like she was right there in a castle, you know, like
Yeah.
a real thing. Or
You can
or
take a
like-
photo at the swamp with an alligator and
Yeah.
turn it into the alligator at the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yes,
it's getting, you know, obviously crazy how manipulative us as humans can get with the help of AI.
Yeah.
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 I mean, think of all, you know, catfishing was a huge thing back then, but now it's going to be
Imagine
even
now.
better.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
I mean,
I mean,
it's going to be
catfish.
horrible.
makeup can still do some great wonders
Yes,
without AI.
that is crazy. For sure.
I always
Hi,
tell
my name is Neve.
yeah, if you ever want to make sure like that person you're dating is legit how they look, take them to a pool, the beach. I don't know.
Yeah.
What's her face?
Wet their face.
Wet
Oh,
their face.
let me spill this on you real quick. Oh, I'm sorry.
Then you'll see
FaceTime them first.
Fill the
FaceTime
sprinklers.
Yeah, you have to
The day
FaceTime them first. You don't want to meet up with a random stranger in public first
Just
thing.
meet them in public. That was for
Yeah,
better
like,
to see them.
Oh, heck no. They'll follow you to your car.
Hide behind a bush.
There was this
the
guy who,
heck?
like, there was this kid who like catfished the same guy like 6 times.
Oh, my
He had a girl
gosh.
who's like, oh, the first time it's like, oh no, you're not Sarah or whatever, and then the second time
Oh my gosh.
it's like, oh no, come on, not you again. And the third time he was like,
Yeah.
the guy was getting a little smart. He's like, oh, I'm gonna FaceTime, so he put a different girl on every time for the fourth one and the fifth one. He's like, oh, not
my
again. He's like, there was a girl actually FaceTiming me. He's like, yeah, that was my friend. He's like, come on, I'm actually Katie. We're gonna have a good time.
Gosh.
Oh boy.
People go to definitely drastic measures. I mean,
I wish
if
I
you
had
watch
that free time
me
to
laugh.
do that. I mean,
only if I
no.
can get paid to do it.
Yeah, if I'm getting paid to do it.
I mean, it sounds horrible, but
Because I don't want to have free time to catfish time. I don't have time
Yeah.
for that. Like, that's not what I want to be doing with my
but if
spare
I have free time just to play with AI and figure out, you know, different things I could do with AI and get paid for it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sounds pretty cool to me.
Like, kind of like what you did with your soaps. I think,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Like, you can, you know, it
Put
gives
a
it a
nice
nice
background, yeah.
aesthetics, you know,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
can, you know, like promote your products and you know, and I think that's
Well, yeah, and
very
I mean,
creative.
even with that, I just take whatever the scent is and try to match like a cool, like vibed background to
Yeah.
go with it. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, AI definitely helps in, you know, the
Certain
aesthetics of certain things, and in small businesses especially, because you get to, basically just promote yourself in a different way. Where, I mean, not all of us who have small businesses are fortunate enough to have like a nice, appealing background to take the photo or stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
AI has really developed in that way and allowed us as small business owners to do that. So that's definitely something that has benefited me, and I know a lot of other small business owners that are using it.
Yeah.
As far as just applying a background to their product.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. There's goods and bad, right? Internet is good and bad. So
Exactly.
you know, hopefully people can use, you know, AI the correct way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And that goes right back to like we gotta keep up with the trend, right?
yeah,
You know?
hopefully in a healthy way we can keep up with it.
No.
There's been I don't know if you've seen the movie Chappie. Have you seen that movie?
Happy.
So like these, so it's kind of, so like iRobot, right? I mean, iRobot 2 is like another prediction
yeah.
going in the
I know
future, but with like Chappie, it was kind of a cool movie. But this one robot, you know, kind of goes off, kind of like Sunny from iRobot, and then all the other robots start doing things that they're not supposed to, and they go off on everyone. But this one robot was able to get the consciousness of his of one of the guys that stole him, or the female that stole him, and then he transferred her consciousness into the robot. Like, imagine like in the future, like if you can actually predict to like I feel like that's like a prediction there too, because you can transfer consciousness into like a database.
I think they're already doing that.
So
It honestly would not surprise me.
They already are doing that. I don't know where I read that, but they are doing that. They will say eventually you can come back. You're not gonna come back in the same body, but yourself, your soul, your conscious will be there.
Yeah.
So you can download it. Kind of Elon Musk is kind of doing that. That's what he's doing with this.
I don't know. Maybe that's what they'll do to Walt Disney, since his head is underneath the castle in Florida,
it's frozen.
Supposedly,
Yeah.
allegedly.
They'll transfer his.
That too, which is
That's
pretty
so
wild.
interesting, yeah, because it's
But put it
frozen,
right
so
into
they
Mickey
can
Mouse.
still transfer
They can still transfer it.
his data
Exactly.
into that chip and insert it into another human. Oh, because now I was reading like they're making these now they're making humans like incubate. They're like, it's crazy what people
Well, it's
are
like-
doing.
There's that one show, and
a lot of data.
there's like that one cartoon, and I don't even remember the name of it, but it was like this little, I think it was a monkey, and he just had like a dome-shaped head, and it was clear, and you could see like just a brain in it.
Yes, I remember. It was.
I don't remember what the
Not
name.
the Powerpuff Girls, right?
I was gonna say the Powerpuff
Powerpuff
Girls.
Girls?
Is it?
Yeah,
Mojo
it was
Jojo?
green.
Yeah.
It's green.
Mojo Jojo.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's a Powerpuff Girls. Because
Jojo.
originally that's what I was trying to go
Alien?
through, and I was like,
Why is it
no,
green?
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. But yeah, so like stuff like that, like that's crazy to think about. Like that could eventually happen. Like they just take your brain out and move it to the next object.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like taking your
Futurama.
data.
The heads. Like,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
jars.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then they just lock themselves in another body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if these
Yo, that's
cartoons
crazy.
are not predicting the future? Just people are like, let's try to do that. And it's not really a
Whoa.
prediction.
I mean, with some of that, I mean, it could
wild.
definitely be true, but like, I would hope that wouldn't be the case for like things like Ebola or the COVID-19 virus.
make
Who were like,
Well, it could
"Ooh,
be.
let's do this."
Yeah.
I mean, it
Let's-
can be because a lot of
let's
people are
make
saying
COVID-19.
that COVID-19, like for example, let's use COVID-19 is a great example. They were saying that it's human made, like it started in a lab. So someone saw this episode and they're like, why don't we do this?
Yeah,
Well,
it's definitely scary to
talking
think
about
about.
that, if it came from a lab, there is a good story of an actual one that there's enough evidence to show that it came straight from a lab, and that will be for another topic.
Yeah,
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that are man-made.
There's even some like buried deep in the Arctic that was it the one that we were reading about or was it not Alaska, it was
Zombie virus?
the zombie virus that
Yeah.
they dug up, and they're like, oh wow, this is a zombie virus that's never been touched or anything, and they found it. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
Leave it
why are
there.
you digging that up?
What the heck?
Yeah.
Like, why do you want to bring this back?
Yeah.
Why do you want to bring this back?
Well, and that's why, us as humans are
Research.
said not to go to the Arctic.
Zombies.
Research.
World
They
War
want to do
Z.
research.
Well,
Research on
did-
what?
Well, did you know going to the future? Some certain things we're also going back to the past too. Did you know that they're bringing back to life the dodo bird? It's very interesting. There's a company that's actually working on developing Britain, and so
And they're
far,
dedicated to one island.
yeah, and dedicated to one island, and I believe it's out in Madagascar. But essentially, the dodo bird from that island was killed off, but not from extinction, regular extinction. It was killed off due to people, because people back then would hunt them. But they're bringing the dodo back to equalize the food chain there, because the dodo bird was a very essential animal to the ecosystem there.
Yeah.
And mankind has ruined that.
It's kind of like today, we were actually talking about that. We're like, I had a great day. I had a great weekend, actually. And
That was awesome.
it was awesome. But I was like, damn, we're killing these quails for fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, are we gonna make them extinct at some point?
The good thing is we can breed them a lot, so they breed
Yeah, we
quickly.
know. I know. It's just like
Like
me,
bunnies.
just like
Yeah.
obviously thinking. Just
Speaking
random.
about that, do you want to tell everyone what you did this weekend and how it was fun?
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
Rodolfo and I got to experience part of it, but I mean, there was
Yeah.
a lot that
Do
we
we have
didn't
the
get to
ribbon?
experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Bring banana. No, we don't.
Just one second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
We'll put a
this is
picture.
This is
Yeah.
off topic. I
Yeah.
think this episode is more like a little bit to do with what we were originally going to talk about, but a little bit also like, how our
Sometimes we
weekend
plan
was.
these episodes and then we're like, oh, there's such good other things to talk about, or like
about.
Yeah.
just life in general, like
Yeah.
comes up. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
guys had an
there's-
exhausting weekend. We
Yeah.
had an exhausting weekend. I mean,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
one of
there-
those things.
There's just a lot of interesting things to talk about.
Yeah. So this weekend our dog that was actually on the first video, Milo, we ended up he's 7 months old, and we
He's a
decided
German short-haired pointer.
correct, yes, he's a
Yeah.
German short-haired pointer, and we decided to bring him out to do a hunt test. Basically what that is he needs to find a bird. He needs to point, show us the bird is there.
Yep.
And then Matthew was running him. He was his handler.
Handler, yeah.
And basically, his goal is to tell him to stay there, and hopefully Matthew can kick the bush, and then the bird will fly, and that's how he gets qualified. So he did really great. I mean, this is our first time ever doing this, and I'm so. I mean, it was so much fun. I did this really for to test him. Right, he's a dog that's his nature.
Yeah.
Right. This is what he does. So I was just trying to see what his skill was, and I mean, we're not into hunting ourselves, but today really opened my eye that like, wow, this is so much fun, and I just realized I'm getting into a sport that is very costly.
Yeah, people there were like, I hope you got big pockets, because once you
it's
get hooked,
gosh.
like it's
Yeah.
it's bad
And
to get out.
I think I'm definitely hooked.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this is so much fun. Like, I didn't only see Milo, but I saw other dogs, and I was like, this is so much fun. Like, when I went into there's different levels, so we're just into juniors. But when I went into seniors to see Milo's dad, Judd, just seeing that, I was like, this is so much fun. Like, it brings a whole different, like, that level, like it's much more detailed. Like these dogs need to point, they need to hold it there, and the level of discipline it's just crazy what these dogs
And then
can
bring
do.
it once they shoot the bird. I mean, they can't be scared of the gun either. So they have to be the condition to that. So once they actually shoot it down, they get the bird. Even if it's in the water or however far it is, they have to bring it right back to their hand, and then that's where you get all these points.
Yeah, and the goal is to we were talking to some of the people there.
The goal is that,
is to like one day if we are hunting, right, for fun, not in a competition way, but for your dog, you are able to hunt something, and your dog is able to bring you the prey, and bring it to you, and
even
not
show you where it is.
correct, and bring it to you alive, because obviously, why would you want something? I mean, you're gonna kill it eventually, right? If you're gonna eat
A
it,
shot.
But-
if it's wiggling around,
yeah,
they can't just like rip it apart before they give it to you.
before they give it to you. So
Well, and this was your first time seeing Milo interact with his parents, Judd and Sadie.
It was so
So
cute.
how was that?
Yeah.
that was amazing, because I was like, will they remember him? And I mean, they were a little bit off guard with him a little bit, but I don't know. I think definitely dogs
Sadie
remember.
knew, and then she was like, "Oh, that's my son."
Yeah.
Just playing around
And
with
they were
him.
just so happy. Like they were playing, and they were seeing Milo. Like Milo was like hugging her in a way. It was kind of so interesting to see, because I'm like, does he remember the scent? Like he must remember the
I
scent.
brought the blanket too, so
Yeah, because when we got Milo as a puppy, the blanket we
Yeah.
still have it.
Yeah.
It was
Should
actually
just rubbed it
in
again
the-
a little bit more.
yeah, it was actually in the crate when we brought the crate for this
nice.
event, and that blanket we originally we
you
put it on
received
Sadie,
Milo. Yeah.
and then we brought it home. So when Milo was with us, hopefully the adjusting part would be a little bit better
Yeah.
for him. I mean, it was still tough, of course, it's a new puppy and a new setting, but the blanket actually helped a lot. Like at nighttime, he felt a little bit more comfortable. So I wonder if he still remembers that scent,
Yeah. Because it was the first scent that ever comforted him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he was like hugging her in a way, like with his head, like so interesting how they hug. Like Milo does it to me, and he's done it to you guys.
Judd
Yeah.
does the same thing
Judd
Milo
does the
does,
same thing.
where like if Titus comes over here and then Milo's out, he would push him with his body, and then so I was with Judd petting him, like, "Hey Judd, good job, out there."
He pushed
stuff.
Milo out of the way.
He
He's like,
pushed Milo out the way because he was coming up, so he pushed him with his body. I'm like, he does the exact same thing.
it's kind of good
So
for him
funny.
to get a little taste of what he
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Exactly.
To Titus and Rio here.
Right, Titus?
Of course.
He gets it all the time. He knows. Like, yeah, Milo.
So we have 3 dogs. Milo's
the first one was
are
Milo in the episode.
Milo's our new addition to our family, but
Titus.
Rio is the OG. Eventually, you guys will meet him in our
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
one of our episodes.
Yeah, every day we'll just show a different dog. Well, every video will show a different dog.
Yeah.
It will just the next videos would just be like a stray off the street.
Yeah, probably. I'll adopt more dogs.
Yeah,
we
keep
have,
bringing more dogs.
yeah, we have plenty of room.
We could just start fostering them. So then we'll just foster them and then be like, oh no, we need to trade them out this
like,
week.
oh, we got a new
Yeah.
dog. Bring everyone else's Ruby or the parrot.
Oh no, we can't. We can't.
If we bring the
my
parrot in,
gosh.
we're gonna have to put our feet up because I think
No,
it's an ankle biter.
no, we can't bring that. Milo will hunt it.
Yeah.
We can't have no
It'll be
birds.
good training.
The only
gosh.
training, yes, if you want to train it, it can be a pet.
I just say Milo did a great job.
Do not
out
get
there.
attached.
Yeah, do not get attached to the bird. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Milo did a great job for one being his first time ever, and for being a 7-month-old puppy. Which I mean, we saw a 7-month-old puppy out there
Yeah.
that he got his junior title.
But the guy had like a coach
So-
and everything. He already been doing this for like 3+ years, and
Yeah. They were definitely
ran
more
from
prepared.
They ran from champion dog, like the Milo's grandfather too.
yeah,
Yeah.
same bloodline as Milo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think that matters. It all comes down to training. But
Exactly,
he
yeah.
was a little bit more prepared than we were. We're
Yeah.
definitely just doing this like to test it out. And obviously, this is something I can tell Milo wants to do it, because when we go outside, he'd be finding the weirdest things ever. And I'm like, maybe he wants to do this.
Yeah.
So as a parent, you're gonna like, he's my child.
Yeah.
You're gonna always want the best for your kid, right? So I'm like, you know what? If this is something he likes and he's into,
Yeah.
then I need to go out of my comfort zone
Yeah.
to make him, be a happy pup.
Yeah, I mean, Rodolfo and I got to see the first half of your guys' day yesterday when we were
Oh,
up
yeah.
there, and you know, it was just awesome to see like Milo honoring the other dog when the other dog found the bird and stuff like that, which, you know, as a puppy, you know, he was playing.
Yeah.
But then once that dog locked in on the other dog that he was running with, the Brittany, locked in on a bird or a quail, you know, he honored it. He didn't try to mess with her or, you know, try to go at her to stop her from, you know, doing what she was doing. He actually honored and pointed with her.
And we never taught him that. It was like
exactly, and that was not something
they
taught.
They point as well with the dog as well.
Yeah.
So we never taught him that. I didn't because we don't have another pointing
Milo's
dog
all
to do that.
natural talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones that need
He's a
training
stud,
here
purely.
is my husband and I. We need to get definitely more involved
people are
into
telling us.
what this.
You need training.
Yeah.
But you guys did a great job for being your first time out there as well, not knowing really what you guys were doing. I mean, and you guys took the, you know, criticism, not necessarily criticism. I'm blanking on the word.
Constructive.
It was constructive criticism. You know, after your first run, I know Mark had come up to you and he was, you know, trying to show you like, this is kind of what they're doing, and you know, this is kind of the way that it goes, and so you know, he was helping you and you know, kind of trying to guide you in the, you know, direction to help you guys succeed. And
Right,
And a future prediction, Milo is going to get better.
yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I think he's a pup, so as he grows and we keep training him, he's of course it's just we need to be involved, but I don't doubt it. He has the natural talent. It's just keep exposing him to it and we learning because honestly, I went into this just as a fun day. I was like, you know, I want to go out there and let's see what Milo knows. And I was like, Milo taught me how to be a better mom dog, basically.
Yeah.
So, and that's, you know, that's what I'm here. You know, I have these pets because I want to give them the best life they can have. You know, next one will be Titus here. I want to see him run.
I mean,
Let's go to Fast Cat.
He pulls us. Oh, he pulls me on the longboard. So at least he can still have that brute force strength that he has and going straight for it and that bunch of energy.
Well,
I mean, today it was great seeing Milo like the last run. I think it was the best one because I was locked in and focused. I'm like, okay, so the first run and the second run, and then I was talking to the guys, and then Mark gave me all those tips. I'm like, okay. I put all that together and then seeing Milo's like
this last
back
one was
leg
great.
shake.
Oh, he was ready.
Very excited. He was like, okay, I'm ready. I'm locked in. I'm focused. And he came back, checked on me, and I'm like, go search. And he went for it. And the one that was really perfect was like that last one.
Yeah,
where he locked in on this bird. And I said, whoa, like how Mark taught me. And I'm like, okay. I went up and kicked it and it went off and I threw the gun in the air. I'm like, yes.
Like, yes, good boy. And then you praised him, which is so important.
Yeah.
Like telling him, this is what I want you to do. So hopefully that's something he can remember because this is not the last one we're going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to definitely need to prep for the next one.
I want more ribbons.
Yeah. We want
now you're hungry.
Now we want more ribbons. I mean, not the ribbon itself. It's just like seeing your dog accomplish something and then seeing him tired. Like, he's an energetic dog and seeing him tired like that, I was like, I know I did a good job because like you're usually not like this and good. I'm glad I finally got you exhausted.
And even especially after since we only saw the first one, especially even after the first run, like seeing how happy he was and like that, like feeding off of him, like he was so happy.
He was
just to be there.
I was telling him, so after the second run, like we were exhausted after the second run on Saturday. So I laid on the bed and I was laying with him, like just praising him, telling him how happy I was with him and like proud of him I was of him. And he is just like the things he does. So he came to me and he laid like right next to me and he put his head right underneath it and he looked like he was telling me, Mom, thank you so much. Like this, like that was his best day ever. And he was so happy and he was telling me like, thank you. And I was like, oh my God, like this is what you love. So obviously I got to continue that.
Yeah, for sure.
He woke me up this morning on top. He's like, You ready, bro? Let's
like,
go.
I'm ready.
Well, and that's how his dad is. So
Yeah.
Judd is exactly like that. The minute that Judd is my mom's dog. So this is how I know this information. So Judd actually is one of those people where like when they start turning down like those roads, coming up to it where it's all the hills,
Yeah.
he starts to sense like he knows where he's going. And he gets so excited and he starts like shaking. And that's like his version of like, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to see that. Like even when they're at the camp, like if my mom tells them to load up right in the van,
Yeah.
or in their side by side, they're ecstatic. Like they know like they're getting ready to go hunt. They know like what they're gonna go do. So that is what the feeling that Milo is going to get, especially since you said like he was like shaking his leg on the last one. So now he's going to get like that like hungry sensation of like, yes, I get to go do this. So that'll be really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely good for him.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you for watching and listening. And stay tuned for our next episode where we talk about missing people and how they went missing or depending on what they did. So, yeah, definitely stay tuned for that.
And if you like what you heard today, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you have any topics that you want us to talk about, drop it down in the comment section below. And yeah, thank you.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Oh, biscuits.